Hello everyone, this is Ru, and this is practically speaking the third time I have gone through the prologue for this VR. The reason is I actually did the prologue before deciding to do this as a group read. But the real reason why we are re-recording this, because this is a re-recording, is because incidentally the recording didn't work when I actually tried to do the recording for Muramasa. And what that did is that the result is I have a static picture with the sounds over it. And while I could like just play the noises from when we were doing that, the audio visual feedback that you'll be getting from that will be just straight up confusing. So what I decided is I'm gonna do the prologue again, record it, and upload it on the channel, and just hope for the best. Basically, I might comment on a few things as I was doing during our recording. The prologue session is about 45 minutes only, so it's not as bad as if something happened to the second stream, for example, which was an hour and a half. Or it could get worse in the coming episodes. Like if something happened to those, like I won't be able to re-record because that would be more than 2 hours. I've just put it out there. I'm not that old, but I am at the stage where reading for more than 2 continuous hours is very exhausting. To me, I would like to avoid it, if possible. There is a reason why we stuck with that 1 hour and a half maximum for the sugar style streams. Anyhow. Actually, that reminds me, maybe I should check the auto. I want to see if it's alright. That's unbelievably slow. I'm not sure if this is the same as the case basically in most VNs where the auto is synced to the Japanese text, and as such, like depending on how the Japanese text is adapted into English, you might end up with it becoming much longer or much shorter, which can be very confusing due to the wait time. I remember, I think it was Tokibabble. In Tokibabble, like the auto was horrible, just straight up horrible. In some like very long sentences, it would just like zip through, and on some shorter sentences, it will stay there like for ages.
この村が倉掛の反乱に組みした奸賊をかくまっているのは分かっている。おとなしく身柄を差し出せばよし。叱らずは村ごと踏み潰すまで。
Also, one of my friends who are in this read through has commented on me reading pretty fast, and I apologize for that. When I get interested in something, I kind of tend to ignore how fast people read, so yeah. Also, I love how the Rokuhara is hella popular in this series. All governments should be very popular. That's not a political statement. It kinda is, but it isn't.
世話になった。
I'll mention this guy is pretty cool. Since the initial recording I did mention Hanashirasu, I think it would be like good to mention Hanashirasu here as well. I wonder if this is going to be as ridiculous, but also at the same time serious as Hanashirasu. I'm pretty sure the protagonist isn't going to be as charming as Akane, but
何のつもりだ、鷺沼。
we have done about a total of 2.5 hours read time, and we still haven't met the protagonist yet. So
昔の上官に敬意を示しただけですよ。
I don't know
家
how to
計
feel
少
about
佐、
that.
元少佐。
Also, I will think about this line because I am not sure about the level of malice that is being delivered in the English line compared to the Japanese. I'm not saying that there is no malice, but the malice there is a lot more sarcastic than the malice in the English version. In the English version, it sounds a little bit more venomous. And this is just me trailing off because I have nothing better to think about.
村を見逃すと
This is
の
the
原
third time I've
理
read
偽
it. I know how
り
this
は
is
な
going
か
to
ろう
play
な。
out. There is nothing for me to look up to.
あなたの身柄を差し出すなら村の罪は問わない。言った通りです。
ならばよい。で、貴様、よもや本気で俺とし合う気か。後ろの味方を頼んだ方が良いのではないか。
なぜそんな必要がある。あなたは一騎打ちで敗北を知らないことが自慢でしたな。あいにくそのような名誉を抱えたまま地獄へ行かせてはやれません。ここへ置いていっていただく。六原に背いた者の最後には一片の名誉とてふさわしくない。
おお。
見れば双葉がかりもかなわぬほど翼が傷んでおる様子。地上にて太刀打ちつかまつろ。
見上げた大言相互だ鷺沼。あの青にさえが吹くようになったものよ。ありがたく地層に預かろうか。メイドの土産にその印いただいておく。
もらうのはこちらだ家計。そのしわ首を魚にうまい酒を飲める今宵が今から楽しみでならぬ。
Worth mentioning? I think that sounds disgusting. That's basically me whenever I am reading something with people who are a lot younger than me. I don't feel the same levels of exhaustion that I feel just from simply reading something for too long. Albeit, usually the reason why I feel exhausted is that I know for a fact that after finishing my reading session, I'll be leaving to work, which is even more reading. So, more reading, more Excel sheets in general. Also, the name Kake reminds me of Data Shoken, the visual novel. This is why the name, like whenever it's said, it always feels very, very, very familiar.
鷺沼。
すでに先のない身だ。あゆ無用の欲をかきよって。俺は相打ちでもよいと。だから貴様が何をしようと構わなかった。貴様は違ったな。ために死ぬがいい。六原に立てつく武人も貴様で最後よ。大将領、足利森、大義は成就するのだ。
ほざ、まだ岡部団長殿がおられるのにもまだあまた貴様らに。
岡部ごとき寿命を待つ老輩に過ぎん。姿勢にかけ。貴様は奴らが来る時のためせいぜい地獄を清めておくがいい。
お見事でござった。
何、たわいもない仕業よ。
して鷺沼殿。
宣告言った。家計を差し出せば。
は。
あの村は家計を差し出したか？
What a piece of shit.
いや、差し出しはいたしません。
では仕方あるまい。反逆の目はか。
御意。
Also, the same guy who complained about my reading speed complained about the fact that I tend to cut voices. I also apologize for that. I don't know how to feel about this exaggeration here, Julian. I didn't comment on this during the initial recording, but I didn't like this exaggeration at all. Like, yes, they are flying and they could describe themselves as gods, but all it takes is an anti-armor gun to take out any person in a flying armor. It is the same as how you can take down planes with anti-air guns. So calling them invincible gods is very I don't know how to feel about it. It's just that. And yes, I'm getting very grumpy with the complaining because, as I said initially, once you read something more than enough, you start to find stuff to nitpick about.
老人、病人、役に立ちそうにない者は殺せ。
And I like the specification of old and sick here. It's the opposite of what you say. Kill the able bodies, leave the old and the sick. And the children, obviously. There's no need to kill the children.
労役に耐えそうな男、若い女、それと子供は捕らえて足の剣を切っておけ。いい売り物になる。一人たりとも逃すな。こやつらに許す運命は、それが六原に弓引いた者の末路だ。
A discussion started here when we were reading between Meezinx and Arthur on the usefulness of what slaves after what they do to them. And basically they are saying that they kill the usefulness of slaves, and the counterpoint that has to be made here is that these slaves aren't to last. They are only collected to serve for 5 years maximum and then just kick the can. It is chilling and disgusting as well. As one would expect from any institution of oppression, the foundations of that institution, the people who are actually like doing all the work, are always disposable. That is always important. And the same thing like can be seen with if you look at the how modern day slavery institutions treat their workers, such as think of how Amazon treats their facility workers, the storehouses, the etc. These people are expendable, and they make it as such. These people have no other options, and if they get hurt or something happens to them, they can be replaced pretty easily, so their safety doesn't matter. And this is the same way that they are treating slaves. The only issue is slaves are only collected from incidents like this. So if they are going to treat their slaves as expendable, as disposable, this means that events such as this one have to be repeated all over, time and time again, to produce more disposable bodies on which the institution of oppression can be run. So it's a system where you have to produce slaves, you have to produce horrible stuff like this, or the whole system grinds to a halt. It's a system of greed, essentially, never-ending greed. So it either that the system completely fails after a certain point, or the system wasn't reliant on slaves in the first place and they are just goods, So it's fine. Or for the system to continue to function, a subclass of people has to be created. People who are like below the average person. And I say the average person, but basically below the nobility, who can be used as slave, as fodder, as disposable bodies. Which is, at the same time, is very chilling. I doubt. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if what I had said is something that the end, like Muramasa, is going to discuss, considering the history for this game, which is Hanashiraso. But I'm saying history, but it's the author's previous work. It's not history per se.
嫌だ嫌だこんなのは嫌だ
Interesting that no effort was spared on trying to make this scene as comical as possible. Like this guy, like just imagine it happening and it just looks like a scene like out of an old cartoon. Like he's held and running like through air. And it's just comical, it's just outside of a normal person like comprehension. Also, that's a lot of these like shitty armored objects. Arthur says he likes the music in this game, but so far I haven't found much to like. I find it relatively annoying. But this is a feeling that I share most of the Netro Plus stuff that I have read. Like, you might get one or two tracks that are enjoyable, but the others are Then again, most of it is still in Japanese and I haven't read it, so my opinion holds no weight, but I love this. I actually love this part of the scene. In the first recording I called this a defeatist attitude, but I'm not sure if it is that or if it is something else. I'm not very good with philosophy, so yeah. But what I will say is that it's an attitude where nothing you do matters. The result will be the same in the end. There is no good or wrong, because nothing matters. You need no grief, you need no anger, you need no hate or malice. You need none. You need no goals, you need no motivation. for all will be the same in the end. And this is the same as people who are motivated by hatred rather than passion. But when you say stuff like that, passion and hatred are literally the same thing. You could try to differentiate both, but by the end of the day, the initial feeling of obsession remains the same, really. And that's why you could make the argument that good or bad do not exist, because they come from the same place. It's just an action. And I don't remember where I was gonna take this, but this is what this scene is about. Like when she's told that your purpose is joy, and I have no idea why I assume the speaker to be female, but your purpose is joy. Aren't joy and sadness the same thing? If you're gonna take the same attitude, that's not.
嫌だ嫌だ、死にたくない、助けてくれ。いや、死にたくない。死ねえ。生きたい。死ねえ。生きるんだ。死ぬんだよ。
Now to comment on this font again. I hate the living shit out of it. And I'm sorry if you couldn't read that. Like, I have trouble reading it as well, but I did read it.
なんだこの声。緊張状か。いや違うぞ。どこから聞こえてくるんだ。なんだこいつら。よ、恐怖のあまり気が触れたか。いや、兵どもの様子もおかしい。
Yeah, our man.
反逆するつもりか。聞いているのか。待て、どう見ても錯乱状態だぞ。一体何だってんだ。とにかく止めろ。がこいつらもか。先沼殿。状況の解明は後でいい。は了解。
何を解き狂ったのか知らんが関係どの道俺たちが負けるわけ。山崎誰どこからこいつらか。そんなバカな津田金か今の金色の白金の銀星号こいつが銀星号か。
Arthur did comment during this on the name and the meaning. It is translated in the VN later. You will see it in the second episode as Silver Star. Arthur did comment that it could be translated as the Silver Comet as well, something to that extent. Regardless, nouns are nouns. They shouldn't hold any meaning.
殺戮者銀星号破壊魔銀星号死の雨白銀の悪魔。
Ah, there we go. Same thing.
空中にバカだ飛行船じゃねえんだ。隊長かかれひるむなとかかれ奴のおバカ上だ早すぎるすぐだ銃を使え足を止めて捕まえろくそ榊うわ榊大丈夫だくそ飛べねえさっうわおいほうけてるバカ前
Again, as discussed, these power suits have way too many weak points, which is something the VN already mentioned.
隊長下着の後の助けおのれやってくれ兵と村人は歌声で狂わせ貴様は一体何なのだ銀の魔王
What a beautiful laugh. The subject of the nice tracks in the Nitro Plus game. This is the nice track we have so far. That's probably where I got the influence to refer to the silver in Seigo as female.
Falling down, ladybug.
俺ののどちどうするつもりだ。卵。やめろ。またそれをばらまくつもりか。寄生体を生み出すのか。待て待てと光る。
So the silver one is called Hikaru. I'm gonna look further a bit because I'm not sure where I started recording the second episode. This definitely was recorded, so this is going to be the end. Okay. This is good. This is not a story of heroes, yeah. I'm aware. As I said, this has been very nice, a very nice read, but also at the same time, I'm not sure how to feel about the first chapter. I mean, not the first chapter, I mean the prologue. I don't know how to feel about that. It was unique, but not something I would call good on its own. Like, in some areas, it felt like it was a parody of something, and in some other areas, it felt like it was something genuine. I am not sure how I'm supposed to treat it. It requires context, and I don't have that context yet. And in order to get that context, I'll be reading this along with everyone, hopefully. I am off, so I'll be able to read longer for about a month, and then I'll be back to work at the office, which means that the reading time will be heavily limited. We're expected to finish around February, so hopefully we finish by February. This reminds me of when Fall and I and everyone were doing Baldur's Sky. Anyhow, thank you for tuning in and bye.